Welcome back to the channel. Came across another one of these Team Fatty and Akan Ali panels, and they got to talking about parenting, the black family, you know, that main discussion that's been going on in this niche for a long time. And we got on the conversation of who's better for the child, the father or the mother. And it's an important conversation seeing that the black family structure is pretty fractured down the middle right now. And a lot of the time we find ourselves in co-parenting situations, and oftentimes children end up with the wrong parent in these situations. So it brought up a great debate. Angry Man ended up clashing with the young lady who had disagreeing opinions about men being the better parent. And of course, she didn't really have a lot of logic to back up a lot of her points, but that's what made it pretty stimulating and entertaining. Hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell. Let's get right into it.
See the contradiction that you did. You are valuing. One second, please. Do you think it's fair for you to put performance over blood when it comes to dads, and you put blood over performance when it comes to women? Did you
right? So this is what I was saying. Right? The blood, I do want to put that before performance, which is why initially I was like, well, the kid's gonna be, he can be with his natural father that doesn't help him perform at a 99%. Now, when I switched, it was because what I'm thinking is that if they're with the mom, they're with this stepdad that is performing really great. So then go ahead and go with the natural mom and the stepdad. But yes, I will say the common thing is the natural mom.
Both of you at the same time.
I always choose her over the dad.
Is it why you answer that is because you think women are better than men at parenting?
Ali, y'all missed the point.
Thomas, please let them answer the question first, and then you can do it. Natural and B is the
common thing is the natural mom.
Both of you at the same time.
I always choose her over the dad.
You're an idiot.
We already got a problem if you automatically choose the natural mom over the dad. This is why children are ended up in the wrong place all the time. Is because women get to emotionally decide where the baby goes instead of there being some sort of mediator who logically thinks about what's best for the child. Let's get back into it.
Answer that is because you think women are better than men at parenting.
Ali, y'all missed the point.
Thomas, please let them answer the question first, and then you can do it. Natural and B is the reason why she said that. Natural, not because she is her kids, is because she thinks that women are better parents than men.
I didn't say they were better.
I'm asking, is that why you said that to you? And natural, is that why you said that? No, so why would you prefer the woman with the kid underperforming but not the father, the biological father? You contradicted your answer because you said you want biological parents around their kids, but when Fatty broke it down, you said you want the biological mother around the kid but the stepdaddy around the kid. So is it because you believe that these mothers are better parents than fathers?
No,
it's not that. It's
different.
The biological property. It doesn't matter if they're pieces.
I think that they're different.
And whatever man is best for the child, they'll take that. Come on, y'all.
But I think there is a scenario. I think that there is a scenario.
If they'd want the stepdaddy around them and not the biological father, it can't just be that either. It can't just be that.
And that's not what I want, right? Like, I don't want to keep the kids from their biological parent at all, period. I don't do that to my ex, whether I think he's great or not.
A lot of times when women have a baby with a guy and it doesn't work out and then they end up in a relationship with a new guy, they often don't care about the co-parenting situation with the guy that they just left. They often want the stepfather to be everything that the baby father was not, and then they want to move the baby father completely out of the way, like sort of what's happening with DDG a little bit. You know, they're no longer together, and now his significance in that child's life, she's trying to minimize. And if he was with her, he would have been more active in the child's life. The child would have actually been more available to him. So how available the child is to him only is contingent on how she's feeling about him at the moment. And a lot of men are in these situations where how much access they have to their child is based off of how the woman is feeling about him at that moment. And that's bullshit.
Don't do it, because I don't want that. I don't want that. So in a scenario, I think that, yeah,
AB,
if my kid goes to the biological dad, you know, when I'm not around, then okay.
AB, somebody already answered that. I think it was Angry Man. Kids give you unlimited power. It gives you
No.
subsidies from the government. It
Will
gives
give
you
me a
control
headache.
over man. It gives you all the things that you can do by yourself, because if you are alone
Gives
by
me less
yourself, the
time for
only men that
myself.
think about y'all are the men that want to try to get on your pants, right?
Gives me
So
gray
the
hairs.
reality, once again, is most women don't want to give their kids away because they lose the goodies and they lose control over the man. This is why
No.
you know the men that actually have more access to their kids when they get split, the men that don't give a about those kids.
Facts.
Straight up facts.
Facts.
The man that gets more access to a kid on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday night is the man that says, I don't give a shit about these kids, you can have him.
Anybody living in the Black community knows that this is true. We all know we've seen this in our personal life, or we know somebody who's gone through this in the Black community. Don't play with yourself.
One little bit about that kid, and he's going to see his kid less for every kid he likes the kid more.
The entire point, because the entire point in that scenario is leveraging the kid to get on the father's nerves. If she sees that the father doesn't care about the kid, she knows she can't get on his nerves.
Exactly.
So she'll allow the father, if he's willing, to come around the kid, because she's trying to get him back around so she can get on his damn nerves. Now, the father that does give a damn about the kid, she's going to give him pure hell because she knows he's going to endure it just to be around his kid.
Facts. This is what you see typically in the Black community. You see the guy who run off and don't sign the birth certificate. He can see his child whenever he wants. He pops back in and out of the scenario. She doesn't even put him on child support. But a good man who's willing, who's there, who signs the birth certificate and is available and around and present, these men get drugged through the court system and treated like absolute garbage and like a glorified babysitter for a woman in a court system that doesn't value him.
Well, he's not lying.
Because I would never. But I think that
of course no one ever would. It's never, whenever I have this conversation, it's never the women that I'm speaking to. The women I'm speaking to say, oh, I would never do that.
Well, it's never the panel. Angry man, it's never the panel.
Never.
Oh, no, they could be displaying the same behaviors with their own words coming out of their mouth, but just because they're on the panel, oh, it's never them.
And I
wish my ex-husband could be right here to validate this, because in fact, we got into an argument, right? He came over to my house and said, why do you let the kids come over here when it's not my time? Because my kids asked, hey, can we go over there? And I said, yeah, of course you can go.
Does he care about
and
the kids?
I hope so. But I don't. But like I said, I don't keep the kids from him when the kids want to.
Now, she's trying to act like she's just the most cooperative co-parent and that she's not trying to get in the way, but she's admitted that she questions the quality of her child's father's fatherhood.
You don't find that suspicious?
Want to go over to his house, I would let them. But then he would come back to me saying, why would you let them come over here when it's not their weekend to be over here?
Listen, you just proved my point, right? If he's the father that's saying, why are they coming over here when it's not my day? Okay, that's the type of dad we're talking about that gets plenty of access to his kids. If he was the type of dad that was like, why don't you send the kids over here? That's the type of dad that catches hell. You just proved my point.
No, because if he wanted to have the kids, I would 100% give him the kids. I'm telling you, if he went to court and I asked him this, if he wanted to have 50-50 custody of the kids, I would give that to him.
You think you could be?
Of course you would.
I hope so.
Of course you would. Is he currently fighting for 50-50 custody?
No.
Okay, that's why you're willing to give it to him.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If he was somebody else and he wanted 50-50 custody or like whatever, I wouldn't then be like, no, I have to have full custody. And also, you can't see the kids anymore. I wouldn't do that to any.
No. Would you give
you need to start listening to what they say. You're actually proving their point without knowing you're proving their point. I'm just being no disrespect. You got to start listening to what you're saying. You're actually proving this point.
B, would you give
Yes, he said.
One second, please. Would you give him 50-50 custody if you wanted it tomorrow?
Yes.
Did he ever ask for 50-50 custody?
No.
That's the point.
But why is that the point? How does that prove anything?
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Because we are literally saying the men that care the most get L, while the men that either are lukewarm or don't care at all get everything they want. That's the point.
That's the
See,
point.
but I continue to tell you guys that if it was the other way around, I would be the same way. I'm the same. Because please go with your daddy.
It's so easy in a hypothetical to say, oh yeah, I would do the right thing, especially when you're doing the wrong thing is what's being brought into question, or the people who you're arguing with think it's more likely that you'll do the wrong thing than the right thing. It's easy to just say, oh yeah, if I was put in that position, I would give him his kids, even though historically speaking and statistically speaking, women never do that. But if the guy doesn't have any interest in the child, all of a sudden he has all the access in the world. He probably has more room to get back with her and to be with her in a romantic way than probably any other guy that she's ever dealt with. It's interesting stuff. Let's get back into it.
That's the exact point right
there.
B.
Here's the thing. Look. This is literally Schrodinger's cat. We don't know if you would do that in the other scenario because the other scenario didn't happen.
Right.
Exactly.
I know because I'm me.
Who you?
That's fine. Like,
Hey,
they can stay with me.
Says so much about the quality of that guy that she said, well, if he were to bring the kids back, I wouldn't even care. I guess they're just with me or whatever. It's like, man, it would make no impact on the kids' life or yours. You wouldn't feel it in any way. That's just another way of basically saying that you don't value him at all. So this makes sense. And it's another way of saying that his parenthood isn't like the best quality. So again, it is proving their point because you don't really expect a lot out of him because he doesn't really have a lot to offer. But he seems to have a more flexible deal than a man who would have wanted the child all the time. You would have found a way to make that a problem. The same way most women in society do. Once the guy starts wanting to be more active in the kid's life and he's already outside of the relationship and he's not romantic with her anymore, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Now is the shoe. A, B, you said, I know myself, right? But you said too, in my show, that you cheated on your last boyfriend. Did you know that?
No, not my last boyfriend, but
not the last one. Let's go with 2 boyfriends ago. Did you know that you were going to cheat before you cheated?
No.
I know myself. I know what I would never. I know what I would.
Why are you stupid?
How did you walk right into that? I know why. It's because you're lacking. You're not that intelligent. I can tell that you're not a malicious woman. We've dealt with a lot of women and reacted to a lot of women on these channels who tend to have this very combative and disruptive energy. You don't have that. You're just very calm and innocent and lacking in intelligence. Let's get back into it.
Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all know. I'm pretty sure some of y'all know what Schrodinger's cat is. Like when you put the cat inside the box, is the cat still alive or is it dead? You don't know until you open the box. So the point that I'm trying to make is you don't know how you would react to that man doing that until he actually did it. That's the entire point I'm saying.
Okay.
And that's a fair point because we can't predict the future.
B, this is to Angry Man's point, right? I got 3 baby moms, right?
Damn.
I'm sorry. And the first 2 I'm in court for custody, and they refuse to give me 50% custody. So what Angry Man said is completely true. When you fight for your kids, they fight harder to keep them away from you.
Oh, you want to get fucked up?
I also have literally been reprimanded by the court system for spending more time with my child that I had in an illegitimate circumstance. I kept him too long. She was ready for me to bring the child back. And I kid you guys not, I'm going to give you guys real details from the real story. It was literally storming. It was probably one of the worst storms we had seen in Michigan since we moved out here. And I just wasn't going to bring my son back to South Bend, Indiana during those conditions. I made a decision for the betterment of my son's safety. It'd be best if he stayed with his dad for a few more days so that he could get his health together. I'm here to tell you guys I was brought to court for this. And I was told by the judge that under any circumstances, I'm to bring that baby back to her ever she needs the baby. We're talking about a father who was wanting to spend more time with his sick child. Are you guys starting to understand how the court system just does not give a damn about men and about our role in these children's lives? They only care about pleasing these hyenas who never cared about the true well-being of the child.
All the access.
And now my twin's mother, right? The third baby mother, right? She is jealous of the relationship that I have with my wife now, but she still won't give me the kids, even though she's in a bad situation.
Sad.
Sad. Goes back to our original points. You could put a ribbon on that.
Bro, I literally had a situation where my kid's mother, right? She called me up and she was like, stressing or whatever, talking about some, but I forgot what it was. She was talking and she was like, but I have the kids the majority of the time and I have to do this and I have to do that. And I said, so give them to me. I can't do that. You just said you were stressed out. You just said you was going through some. Why not just give them to me? I'm in the better position financially. Give them to me. Anytime a father tries to get his kids, it's like, no, because at that point, a lot of times it's the woman trying to be a contrarian to the man.
There's control she's just not willing to give up in the dynamic. And she's willing to let the child suffer to maintain an idea of control that the system gave her. It's not unjustified because the system made her believe she was in control. And she doesn't want to release that control of having some sort of leash on the man and some sort of leverage over the man, especially if the guy didn't give her any play and she never was validated by the man in a real way. She can really use the system to toy with him. And we all know we've seen this. Let's get back into it.
Kids, why you don't come and get your kids? Or they'll go over there and drop them off and pull off, knock on the door and pull off. And you feel me?
Hey, Angry Man, you know what they do?
What's
They
got to do with it? What you do? Drop the kids? I don't know.
They do it like shoes and their best friends. And I saw these in front of me. A woman will buy some nice pair of shoes that cost $20. It's just that they look incredible. And they will go in a function and complain to their best friends, oh my God, this shoes is killing me. And the friend says, so give it to me. I know, like, my shoe is a little bit, like my feet is a little bit tinier than yours. Nah, not doing that. That woman rather be complaining about their shoes for the whole night and day, and tomorrow they see her best friend walking on perfectly nice shoes with no problems, because like somebody said on the panel, a lot of women are like children. They only care about shit when other people care about shit. As soon as nobody care about that shoe, she's throwing that shit away like it's nothing. But as soon as somebody actually cares, no, this is my shoe, this is my bag, this is my toy, this is my.
That was a very cool way of attacking the pathology behind this. There's a pattern in which people who land on these conclusions fall into, and he just did a great job of exposing it. Fatty, I must say, you're growing on me. I used to think that you were just like a guy who was a simp, but really you just actually do a good job of playing devil's advocate, and you sort of do a good job of playing onto the people who you have on the panel. And most of the time you're actually pretty objective. So maybe I made too quick of an opinion on you.
Please take us home, because we're about to need a nation.
Okay. Thanks so much for having me on the panel. I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed hearing all of your points of view, whether I completely agree with them or not. I do just want to say that for all of you who are having a difficult time with your baby moms, I'm sorry, but all women are not like that. And all women do
Who
not
said that?
want to not have a happy ending.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
My
So
baby mama is just like everybody else.
Go ahead now.
Okay.
You have a baby mama?
I have one now.
So what I was saying is, I hear all of your views, and I just want to recap. For B, she says she just don't want to be pushed out the picture. For Angry Man, for Thomas, for CEO, for Ali, even for you, Fatty, y'all just don't want to be pushed out the picture.
Me?
All I'm saying is that, from my viewpoint, younger children need their mom, and they really benefit if mom and dad are there. Angry Man said the statistics, like when a dad is there, when a good, powerful father is there, it's like a 2-parent household. That's the setting that we would like to have it in. So while, yes, we all have our individual experiences, and a lot of them are up and some of them are not, I would just implore us to make better decisions. And although we can't go back and erase the past, we definitely can decide how we move going forward. So it whether or not everybody is in agreement, it still is very difficult for a mom to give her baby up underneath a certain age. I will stick to it. Look, I think that if I had to be in that situation, I would want my children with me, not just because they're my property, but because I think that I am an amazing parent. And like I said before, the ideal situation would be for me and dad to be together.
But that's not the circumstance. The circumstance is the baby has to be with one or the other. And see, what you said, I believe that you would keep the child with you because you believe that you're an awesome mother. But I think that this is the assumption that so many women in this scenario end up falling victim to also. That you're a phenomenal parent. But really, it isn't that you believe you're a phenomenal parent. It's that you think you're a better parent than the father. You believe you're more fit. You think that the child will get more love. When maybe in some regards, the child may receive a little bit more emotional validation. Maybe a woman might be a safer space for certain ideologies. We know statistically speaking and historically speaking, when children are left with men, they're more likely to graduate high school, stay out of jail, don't be a nuisance to society. And they end up not being a nuisance to society in general. We know the deal. So it isn't a matter of, do you feel like you're what's best for the child? This is why children are in danger when they're left with women, because women are feeling their way through life. They're feeling their way to what's the right thing to do. When the right thing to do is often a non-emotional end, it's usually something that doesn't have anything to do with emotion. The answers, the true answers that we need in life are often practical and in black and white. But our women force themselves to live in a world where emotions dictate real things. Like, I think every woman feels like they're what's best for their child, but there's an objective truth that still exists somewhere, now does it? But there's an objective truth that exists somewhere out there, now doesn't it?
Gotcha.
Sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not. And I'll say it again. I said at age 5 and up, I would have absolutely no problem. I would encourage, you would not get no resistance from me for my children if I were unable to definitely go with their dad. Why? Because like the nurturing part that a mom gives, I think that the children can be weaned off of that, and they would have a better experience with their dad. That's what I said then. That's what I say now. And I hope that we just all go forward in more wisdom.
Okay, so I got something I want to say real quick. So me personally, I don't have to go through it anymore because my children are grown now, but I went through pure hell And even to this day, with my children being grown, I'm having to weed through and repair the damage that the nurturer did through parental alienation.
Fellas, this is why if you have your child in circumstances that are too illegitimate, sometimes it's better to just have more kids. I'm not kidding. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Make your own decisions with your life. Every circumstance is different. But if the woman like push you on child support, push you out of the home, or whatever the case may be, a lot of the times, man, it's just best to just have some more kids, man. Seriously, because you do all that fighting through the system and everything that you do, and you end up not even having the full respect of your children. You end up having to rewire your kids, and you've already done your job. You've done more. You've had to deal with court proceedings along with having to be a father and all this other stuff. Just to at the end of the road still be wondering if you even have your kids full respect. Still wondering if they see you in a healthy manner due to everything you've been through. Fellas, pick yourself. I'm sorry. This is becoming too awful of a scenario and awful of a situation where men are just supposed to accept any kind of deal. And at the end of the road, I'm tired of seeing men who paid child support for kids who are grown. Now they're having to still have conversations about what mama said and all this other stuff. And we all know black women are never going to be accountable about the things that they've done in their past. So the kids might get honesty from dad, but you think that the mom is going to own up to her mistakes of the past and her shortcomings? Please get back into the clip.
Okay. This whole thing where y'all love to dismiss this by saying, well, you know, to all of the men that went through that, all women aren't like that. If a man sexually assaulted you and traumatized you, are you going to accept other men telling you, well, all men aren't like that?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so guess what? We don't want to hear about how all women ain't like that.
What an awful deflection, man. And you're too old for that. You know that he's not talking about every single black woman. And I'm pretty sure in all the years you've been alive, you've seen at least one black woman pull that move. I'm so sick of this shit. How are we going to get anywhere in the black community if the older women who have already lived are intentionally acting like they don't see the truth and that they don't see logic and they're playing stupid also? Where are we supposed to grow? Let's get back into it.
And at some point, there's going to have to be some accountability for women that act like that, because the lie that women are just natural nurturers, it's not the truth.
It's been proven that women, you're more likely to hurt a child when caring for them. Like in these daycare scenarios, who would have knew that the female daycare instructors are far less safe and like they're more likely to harm your child. And nobody talks about this. Nobody presses these teachers who are sleeping with these young boys and starting relationships with them and running off with them. And it's happening way more than men are running off with young girls and trying to marry them and whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just not happening at the rate that we're seeing women getting involved with young men in the school, and nobody really raises a stir about it at all. It's sort of like a taboo, little jokey thing, but it just speaks to the disparagement that's being brought up at the moment. Let's get back into it.
Never met a bad mother that said, I know I'm a bad mother.
Yeah.
Ever. Like there's two things that women think they have that is always good. Being good mothers and having good coochie. Never met a woman that said my coochie is terrible. I can't even keep them. Every time they get inside of me, they out. Right? All women think they have good coochie, and all women think they are good mothers because
Fatty not lying. And even if they don't know if it's good, they definitely aren't prepared to say that it's bad. But they might not always know if it's good. But no woman is ready to just put themselves in the bad coochie category.
Trash. Nobody knows. Do you think that on these movies, these villains think they are the villain of the story? They think they are the hero. Every movie that you
Great
see,
analogy.
There's a villain on the other side. Then we say, oh, the superheroes. Thanos didn't think he was a villain. Voltron didn't think it. Like, none of these people think they are villains because on their own story, they are heroes, and the heroes are the ones trying to stop them from doing what they need to do. So the same thing, villains never know they are villains. Dumb people never know they are dumb. Unfunny people never know that. Like, the good mother and the good dad, they can say that to the crowd, and I don't doubt that naturally is a good mother. Like, I know no proof, no nothing. I'm just saying that if we go on face value, If you put 100 women in a room and you ask them, are you a good mother and are going to raise your kids well? I don't see no woman on that room saying, nope, I will flunk the test. Let me go ahead and let me give my kid away because I can do it. They only do it for selfish reasons.
But Fatty, you missing
For
one more.
selfish reasons, they will abort the kid. They will give the kid away to the grandparents. They will put the kid on a firefighter station. They will do anything as long as it's for their own well-being of the kid. They will drag that kid on a house, on a dirty floor, on a dirty table. They will use those kids for anything and everything, to get subsidies, to get food trucks, to get whatever they want, because once again, I'll repeat it, you only know you're a dad or a mom when people tell you your own assessment of yourself usually is flawed. So,
Fatty, here's one.
And I think that this is the majority of Black mothers in the Black community. And in some way, the majority of just mothers in general. And so that speaks more to women and you guys' inability to be objective and critical about things that you're highly emotional about. He's absolutely right. Women will never see themselves as bad parents. That's why when you're in a scenario with a woman and you don't agree with her and you had a child, you probably, I don't know if you should really mess with the situation. I'm not telling you what to do. I just don't know if you should deal with the situation. Because she has her whole way of looking at things and it's completely different than your way of looking at things, and you are never going to be able to raise a child in harmony when she believes you're the villain, you believe she's the villain. Both of you guys have your reasons for why you're in a righteous place or why you're in a more moral standing than they are, and it's just chaos. It's pure and unadulterated chaos. Never seen a child raised happily within that kind of dynamic. Let's get back into it.
Caveat to that. Then one of the third ones I always hear, besides those two, which is very true, I'm a good person. That's the third one. I'm a good person. They're all genuine. They're all good. They're all wholesome. They'll never do that. They're
pure,
all good people.
Hey, let me test it. AB, are you a good person?
Yeah, for the most part.
Are you a good partner?
For the most part.
Are you a good friend?
For the most part.
What do you do bad when it comes to other people? Treating other people. Were you a bad daughter, a bad sister, a bad cousin, a bad friend? What did you do that make you being a villain in somebody else's story?
A villain in somebody else's story. Well, the one time I cheated, I was the villain, and that was tough.
That's already admitted, so it doesn't count.
Can I? So if you're,
I'll leave 1 second. Let's see if she can get away, because she already admitted she cheated, so already got one on the bag. Right? Let's go with the one that we don't know about.
I think sometimes I'm not always checking in on my friends, and
that doesn't make you a villain, just make you absent.
No.
Well, you said, "Are you a good friend?" and what makes you a bad? And no, it doesn't make me a villain. But
I clean it up. A moment where you were a villain on somebody else's story.
So I don't know if my best friend considered me a villain at this point, but my ex-husband didn't like him, so I didn't invite him to our wedding. And he was really upset about that for years.
I told you.
Do you guys still talk?
Me and my best friend?
Yes.
Yeah, but we reconnected.
Is he still your best friend?
Yeah.
So you put him walking when you didn't need him, and then you brought him back.
Huh?
No, that's fair. If he's back, he's back. How do you go ahead, brother? Take us home.
No. How long have you been a good person?
What?
I'm saying, how long have you been a good person?
She said, sure? What? She said, what?
My whole life, I guess.
That's everything that I need to hear. So you've been a good person your whole life, even when you didn't even know what it meant to be a good person. There's an argument that we're the worst we've ever been when we're at like age, I don't know, 5. We're telling everybody everything that's wrong with them, and we don't have any moral compass. We walk up right to an adult and tell them that their breath stinks or that they're ugly or that they look scary, and we're just a kid talking, you know? And just because you're innocent, it doesn't mean you're not technically being mean, right? That's everything that I need to hear. So you've been a good person your whole life, even when you didn't even know what it meant to be a good person. There's an argument that we're the worst we've ever been when we're at like age, I don't know, 5. We're telling everybody everything that's wrong with them, and we don't have any moral compass. We walk up right to an adult and tell them that their breath stinks or that they're ugly or that they look scary, and we're just a kid talking, you know? And just because you're innocent, it doesn't mean you're not technically being mean, right? Just by innocence alone, and the fact that you at one point were an innocent child, you weren't always a good person. Innocence doesn't just rewrite what wrong is, right? There are times where we don't even understand the concept of honesty enough to not be a liar, right? So for you to say there's never been a time in your life that you were a bad person is everything that I need to know. This is why so many women on Kendra G's show, they say that they have 0 flaws. Because you women are the narcissist that you're witch hunting all the time. You're always talking about, oh, I don't want to deal with a narcissist. I don't want to deal with guys that are narcissistic. But you women are narcissists. You can't even find flaw in yourself. And this is why you think that you're the better parent in these co-parenting situations all the time. Because you always think that you're the better option, even when it isn't logical. You could be looking at a child who knows that he needs his father more than he needs you. And since you emotionally feel like the baby should be with you, you keep the child with you. And then if everything blows up and you become overwhelmed and stressed, you act as if you were left alone, but you weren't left alone. You made a choice. Hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell to be notified every single time we post content just like this. I'll see you guys on the next one.